Hello, hello, hello. We're back. Sorry, it's been a little bit. Hey, Kelly.
How's it going?
All right, how are you? Hey guys, we had a little hiatus because I had a storm to deal with, and everything's okay. You know, I'm in Florida. For those that didn't know, I'm in Daytona Beach. I'm on the East Coast, and the storm was primarily over there on the West Coast. But we caught some of the outer bands, and as usual, we got to prep for that kind of stuff. So we're back. So tonight, it's been a long anticipated, highly demanded, by the way. I could pull up some emails and share them with you guys, and I might do it at the end of the night, of people that are just over it. They're over these creators that spew these lies. They're over the conspiracy theories. They're over the irresponsible comments, and the disgusting, despicable, unbelievable comments that are made about these four victims with no regard for their families, their friends, the community of Moscow. Starting tonight, we're going to start addressing some of these comments. We're going to address some of these creators. I don't hate any creator. Don't dislike any creator. And I'm going to say some things tonight that might rub them the wrong way. I don't care. Because they don't care what they say. I've heard some of these so-called creators make comments like, I have the utmost respect for the families. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. When you suggest that in the house that these four individuals lived in, these victims were part of a drug ring, and that they were basically assassinated by drug lords. Disgusting, despicable, pathetic excuses for human beings. That's what you are. I'm no keyboard tough guy and tough person either. If you were right here, I'd tell you to your face. You're lucky one of those children wasn't mine. Because some of the things that were said, ooh, buddy, would not be good. So we're going to have some fun tonight. You're going to see me kind of try and be a comedian a little bit because I can be a funny guy. I'll be very sarcastic. I'll call people out. I'll make fun of them even. You know why? Because I can. Just like they can say what they want to say, Johnny Boy is going to say what he wants to say tonight. And if they want to come at me, bring it. Don't sing it. I'm ready for whatever you got. It's already been tried. Someone's got to do it. This isn't my job. This is a hobby for me. I don't get to sit at home all day and collect a government check and play on the internet all day. I have a business. I have people that depend on me. This is a hobby for me. So I don't care if this crashes and burns. I don't care. But you know what? As long as I'm able and I can breathe and I have an opportunity to help people like we've already done using this platform, I'm going to do it. And I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if they like what I say. Don't care. I don't. So for those of you that have sent me countless emails with clips and timestamps and everything else, oh my goodness, Detective John, did you see what so-and-so said? Here it is. These people make me sick. Please do something. I have the utmost respect for you because I know that you'll make it right. I've got these emails. It's about time. Sweep the knee, Sergeant Tadeko said. No, crush the knee. I won't sweep the back of the knee. I will crush the top of the knee. I will stomp it in half. That's how disgusted I am with these people that are getting this over this all night long, all day long, every single day. It's blood money. Tainted, despicable, disgusting, pathetic excuses for human beings. That's what they are. Who am I to judge? I'm not judging anyone. That's my opinion. But I tell you what, after tonight, I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo which creator I'm going to talk about tonight. Might be two creators. But I don't even know who I'm going to talk about yet. Because I'm just going to kind of spin the wheel. But I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by his toe. If he hollers, let him go.
Catch a liar.
Liar. Catch a liar. You are it. Bam. I know which one right now. So I'm going to start off with a Bible verse, and it's from Romans 16, 17, 18. And it goes like this. And now I make one more appeal, my dear brothers and sisters. Watch out for the people who cause divisions and upset people's faith by teaching things contrary to what you have been taught. Stay away from them, as such people are not serving Christ our Lord. They are serving their own personal interest by smooth talk and glowing words. They deceive innocent people.
That's it right there.
You see it? Read it. Take a snapshot of it in your brain. Pull it out of that gray matter. Every time you see, we've got another verse that's going to come on the next show that one of my team members came up with tonight that I thought was pretty compelling. This one, it's a good start though. By smooth talk and glowing words, they deceive innocent people. And why are they deceiving innocent people? They're manipulating them too. Deception by manipulation. For this. It's disgusting. Now, don't get me wrong. This all costs money. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be running this show. But fortunately, I've built a great team. I've got 7 mods now. I've got some really, really, really important people that help me all through the day. I'm driving. I got windshield time. I'm calling. You know, I'm bouncing ideas off of my team. They're bouncing stuff off of me, and it's working. It's working well. So we're going to start tonight with a little man creator. He's a nice guy. Seems very humble, very soft-spoken. Doesn't like drama, yet he creates drama. Then when drama actually starts to occur, he shuts it down, but he lets it fester. He's got another person on his show, or actually, he's actually playing another creator on part of his show. And he's agreeing with everything she says. And she's pretty disgusting, too. I think they call her Jules. I don't know if that's short for Julie. I don't know. I would imagine so. She's definitely not a jewel. She's not a crown jewel for sure. I'm trying to be a Christian here. And that's another thing. Just because I'm a Christian does not mean that I turn the other cheek. Not going to happen. I'm a fighter. I don't just fight for myself. I'll fight for many people. We're going to right some wrongs. This show is not going to be just about true crime. It's going to be about other things. It's going to be about psychological stuff. It's going to be about stories people have to tell. I've got people sending me their stories now. There's very compelling and sad stories. I want to know about their stories. I want to know how the justice system, so you can all send stuff to me. I'm not going to let you just come on the show though without vetting you. I'm going to want to see receipts. I'm going to, news articles, clips, things like that. So I want to know about bad things that have happened if you want to share, and how the justice system has affected you in a negative way or a positive way. Did somebody get off for an egregious act that they did because of a technicality, which is what these people are hoping happens? These people hope that Mr. Kohlberger, allegedly the one that did this, gets off on a technicality. They're praying for it. That's what they want. They want to see this man walk. Now, this little fella Dago go, oh, no, that's not what I meant. And then the end of all this, if he gets convicted, he'll say, I just didn't have all the evidence. And, I always wanted him convicted. He'll do the backstroke. But it's all good and well because he's doing this. He's getting this all day long. It's public information. You can go to a website and you can look up what these YouTubers make. I challenge each and every one of you to do it. I know what he made this month just off of YouTube. That's not including what he makes off of the 3 options he has, which are PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo, which is all day long. And he runs marathons, 5, 6, 7 hours, 8 hours. That's no big deal for him.
Right.
It's pathetic. blood money. And he stokes the flames of hate. He hates the police. He'll say, "Oh, Detective John says I hate the police. I don't hate the police." Bull. Dago, in my opinion, you despise the police. And I'm going to prove it tonight with some things that you say. You're a bitter, disgusting person.
Yeah.
You go into detail and you talk about people. They even look up what the salaries are. Like it matters in this case. What a police officer makes in Moscow. Like that's relevant. What the mayor makes. Oh, you won't believe what you're going to hear tonight. And I've got better ones than this one on him. I just did the eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just picked one. So I thought that would be fair. But we're going to have fun tonight. And old Dago, don't be offended if I make fun of you a little bit, buddy. Jules, don't be offended. Because I'm just going to make fun of you. Why? Because I can. Sad thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this won't matter to them. In fact, they may even get stronger because of it. You'll hear this man say, God bless this and that. And then you'll hear him curse the whole town because they believe in God. We've heard that comment before in the political arena. I won't say who said it, but you all know who it is. He'll say things like kind of equivalent to what a politician said about deplorables. He'll say something even worse about an entire community of people, the citizens of Moscow. Wait till you hear what he says. And Dago, don't rush to delete it because you know what? We got it. And I'll repost it. Because after everyone hears what you said tonight, I'm betting you're going to get some fallout from that stuff, buddy. Maybe from the people of Moscow. Because if I was a resident in Moscow and I had your link, I'd give you hell, buddy. Hearing what you said tonight, after they hear what you said tonight. Because you have your own little minions. You have your own little cliques. You have your own people that think like you think. A lot of people are disgusting, just like you. Bottom line, everyone, and I'm going to say it. There's us and there's them. There's the good side. There's the evil side. I know what side I'm on. I know what I stand for. I know what my son stands for. I know what my family stands for. And it's darn sure not even remotely close to what these despicable people stand for. So at the end of this, if y'all are still hanging with me, I'm going to try and keep it short, but you know what? I'm going to get off on these little, as these videos roll, I'm going to interrupt and I'm going to
React.
make some faces. I'm going to be like, what? What did that person just say? I'm going to do things like that. So just bear with me, but you'll get it in the end. But at the end, we're going to have calls, and I'm going to let you call in, and we're going to talk about this. In the meantime, would you like for you to get the algorithm up so we can get this channel out there? Like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your kids. You know, if you believe in something and you believe in somebody and what they're doing, have them go in, pull up the channel, and like and subscribe. Might want to get your popcorn out, everyone. Don't be drinking while I'm talking, because you might spit your fluids out like I did when I listened to these people. You know, I had stuff coming. I just changed the sheets on my bed the other night. I'm laying there, I'm watching something on my smart TV, and I'm drinking something, and so, one of these people said something that was just unbelievable. I spit my drink out. It was coming out of my nose. Clean sheets. You know, I was so upset.
These people.
I'm sarcastic. I warn you in advance. I'm sarcastic. I'm sarcastic. I'm sarcastic. I can be a little condescending, but only to idiots. So if you like that kind of humor, stay tuned. If you don't, and I turn you off, hey, you can go wherever you want to go. Doesn't matter to me. Like I said, I don't care. This is a hobby for me. Let's go. Let's roll.
Putting it
Let's
lightly.
So this is Jules, and this is, I call him Dago. But some of you have watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I know it's not a Christian movie. Sorry, but when I was a kid, I'm 55. We used to go to the movie theaters, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show would, you know, you'd take Rice in there, and you'd have the whole "Damn It, Janet," and you'd just go with the movies. Some of y'all, you're laughing right now. I know you're laughing because you did this. You went to the movie theaters, you watched that movie, and you had a great time because you were part of the movie. You were people dressed up, you know. They had a commentator, and every time he'd come on, stop the movie, come on and say something, they'd say, "Where's your effing neck?" Because he had no neck. That's Dago. So Dago is no neck Dago. Sorry. That's where I'm going to go with it. I'm going to have a little fun. Why? Because I can say whatever I want to say and not have any repercussions. So we're going to talk about no neck Dago. So if you hear me say no neck, just because I can't enunciate his name sometimes. All right, here we go.
Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. We had an extremely important hearing in the Idaho 4 case take place yesterday, Friday the 18th. And there were 4 expert witnesses that ended up giving testimony. One of them was extremely last minute, but I will state right off the bat that I believe that Gabriela Vargas is a badass. We're going to get to what she had to say later.
I agree.
On. Mercer.
I agree.
Who is not a scientist, but is an attorney that has worked with cases that have to do with forensic DNA. And he has been appointed several positions in different departments and has worked in state and federal levels when it comes to cases that have to rely on forensic and genealogy type information and evidence to have the cases solved. And he has he's been doing this for quite a while out of Maryland and in that, in that district.
I'm
And
gonna fast forward a little bit. Blah, blah, blah,
all of the
blah,
bacon
blah,
in order
blah,
to
blah,
be
blah.
here.
Welcome,
We then
Reverend.
had Larkin come up and
Blah, 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 blah,
six
blah.
weeks. Science was my favorite subject in class.
Okay. So science was her favorite subject in class. So she's qualified to opine about all this. We're talking about high school, collegiate level. I don't know. Science was her favorite subject. So she leads us all to believe that she's qualified. She's very confident. She thinks she's an attorney. I think that what happens here, everyone, is the moment she sits her butt down and gets behind that camera, the switch flips on. She's Attorney Jules. As she called this other lady a badass. She thinks she's a badass. I want you to watch her facial expressions and her very condescending demeanor. Like, she's qualified, right? She knows all about this stuff. She's put together cases. She's been to trial. She's done all of it. Watch.
And I get really super into the details. So I actually went back and listened to a lot of what Larkin had to say. And she was talking about mitochondrial DNA and the Y chromosome DNA and the way that the two work together and the differences in the amounts of DNA that's needed for like actual ancestry genealogy work versus what's needed when it comes to criminal evidence, when it comes to the amount of DNA that's needed for certain things. And I think that's really, really important because I have from the beginning questioned how with this little bit of DNA that we're being told that they actually did find and the type of DNA that it is, that they had enough of the sample to be able to do all of the testing that they're claiming to have done. Because you can't.
Claiming to have done. Playing on words, just like somebody else. Ann Taylor. Ann Taylor's little wannabe. Ann Taylor's, I guess she's Ann Taylor's paralegal in her own little delusional mind.
Just take like results of things or reuse samples. Every single test that is ran has to use a fresh sample, and multiple tests have to be ran multiple times, and a certain percentage of validity and reliability has to be met before it's even considered a successful test. And it has to be met several times in order for it to be a valid result. It's not just a one and done situation.
Really? She's so smart. She's blowing my mind right now, people. My mind is blown. I don't know if I can take much more of this.
So that's why I've always questioned, how are they able to run all of these tests in all of these different departments and with all of these different agencies that did all this testing? How is it possible that they had enough of it? Well, Larkin actually does give like an alternative way that things can be amounts of DNA. She's like, when it comes to the genealogical side and the ancestry.com type testing, you spit in a tube or you swab your cheek, but it's put into like a preservative and it's like not a contaminated source. But whenever there is possible contaminations or whenever there is issues of the sample being not a lot, like just some particles like in touch or trace DNA, then there's something that can be done that's called next generation sequencing. And it is actually pretty interesting. But I did find it pretty common that what everyone's basis is that the SNP and the STR.
It's not interesting, people. Just so you know.
It's crazy what she says, though.
have to be combined and looked at together. They can't be done separately. And that's a huge thing, especially whenever you go into the way that the ancestry and the genealogy stuff is actually done, because all of these family trees basically have to be reverse engineered to where, you know, you have these certain matches, but you have to find how matches actually link up to other matches before you can detail how your person of interest is actually involved in that family tree and how they connect into that family tree.
All right. She's talking about family tree DNA. Does not matter. Period. They're fixated on it. Doesn't matter. Not going to be admissible. Not needed. We'll go over that.
It's really a lot, and I'm not the best teacher on how to go back.
What's
and,
up,
like,
Willie?
regurgitate all of those details. So I will just suggest that if you want to get the real detailed information that they were putting out on the way that these tests are actually
Blah, 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 blah.
which, you know, is what Gabriela Vargas comes out and speaks about.
Blah, blah, blah,
Things
blah,
are
blah, blah.
looking into, and it became popular for people to try to figure out where their ancestry came from. And that's another thing that Larkin gets into, is she talks about how, you know, there's these direct to consumer type databases, and then there's certain ones that have certain protocols that only law enforcement can utilize, that is a whole lot more restrictive than if you were just a person. You have a...
That's right. It's a tool. Nothing more, nothing less. Can't be used as evidence. It's a tool. Period. End of story. Move on. They don't want to move on. They want to get into that family tree so they can subpoena people in the family tree and find somebody that might not be actually part of that tree. They were adopted, they find out through some kind of a crazy investigation. So the family tree is disrupted. So the evidence is, in their mind, from that family tree, which is not even evidence. It's a tool. The only evidence was when they did that buccal swab and they compared it to the DNA on that knife sheath. And lo and behold, Brian T. Kohlberger. That's all that matters.
more wide range of access as a person of the public than you do as an actual law enforcement official. So I'm glad that there are protocols in place, but Vargas goes into a lot more to enforcement, which is what the original argument from Mercer, the first expert witness, was talking about. How the defense can't properly do their job if they're not able to go in and validate that all of the genealogical information was obtained correctly. Not
Genealogical DNA obtained correctly. Again, I'm going to say, has no bearing on this case. They can't seem to get off of this because the state is not going to turn it over because they're not planning on using it. If you're not going to use it as evidence, then you don't have to turn it over. It's not evidence. It was a tool. Basically, all that was done there was they had a suspect already. They were doing surveillance on that car. I'm speculating here. They watched him coming in and out with his gloves on, yada, yada, yada. They're waiting for an opportunity to get DNA from garbologies. So they're going to pull the trash whenever he discards something. They're going to surveil him, pick up a cup or something, and get that DNA. And they're going to compare it to the DNA on that knife sheath. But old Mr. Kohlberger, he's a smart cat. He knows how this works. He knows everyone's looking for that car. The heat is on. He's taking steps. He's not going to leave his DNA anywhere. So in the meantime, the old police, they pull that DMV info on that car. There's a sticker on the window, probably from a security guard. I'm speculating, that says who that car belongs to and where they live there, and they run the tag and they get that too, and they determine that that car, up until that time, had a Pennsylvania tag on it. Just had the tag switched conveniently. So they contact the Pennsylvania State Police. Like, hey, we got a quadruple homicide suspect here we're looking at. Can we get some mutual aid and maybe go ahead and do some surveillance in the house and pull some trash? So what do? Wait on that trash to come out. Go pull the trash, get some trash, do a little DNA analysis, and bam! How many quintillion was that, Kelly? Do you have that right there?
5.73 octillion, I think.
Oh, octillion.
Octillion.
5.73 octillion chance that that's not the biological father of the individual who left the DNA on that knife sheath on the bed, underneath, next to, on top of, whatever, two brutally murdered young ladies. Octillion.
You'd have to be in another universe in order to have a chance.
So, that's right, Kelly. So, basically, that car came back to that address. That's daddy of the owner of that car. Daddy's flying in, get ready to take that long, nearly 3,000-mile trip across country with his son, who I'd have loved to have been a fly on the ceiling of that car in that ride. They're waiting on an opportunity to get DNA so that they can compare it to Mr. Kohlberger. They got to get Kohlberger's DNA first. But they got enough to go ahead and follow him. They're building their case. Very simple, everyone. So don't listen to this little girl and her, dissection of what we should be doing in this case.
It's so
She's
absurd.
pathetic. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Not just the testing itself, but how it was obtained to find the match that got them to Brian all the way in Pennsylvania. And also, according to Mercer, in all of the states that he has worked in, when it comes to all of the information that gets given, when it comes to how the family tree and the suspect profile was matched up to said family tree to get the person, he's claiming that when it comes to the information that is supposed to be shared, it's supposed to be all of the raw data plus all of the protocols, all of the bench notes, how the profile was generated, and all of the discovery about how the profile was searched in different databases.
Blah, 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 blah. We're moving on.
And exactly for themselves or which is fine. But if I'm not asked for that and my information is just taken without my knowledge, I'm not okay with that. Now, if someone came up to me and a law enforcement agency needed my DNA to solve the subject, it was clearer to hear, but I don't. be very busy. This is what
where's the
there's a list
I'm
this
off
long
here.
of things that
Sorry,
needs to
guys,
be
we gotta
done.
find
Trial is starting on October the
See?
2nd. Okay. The very first deadline that we
what
It's just
timestamp
past
am I?
this. It's
Alright.
just
have
past this part.
and Taylor mailing on her conferences second on, and that's whenever the motion to dismiss was originally going to be talked about. From what I'm understanding, it's going to stay on September 1st, even though the state's deadline to respond to the second motion to dismiss is only 2 days prior to that. But the state said, whatever, let's just do it. So on the 1st, not only is the completion of all of the discovery have to be done, but this is also whenever the motions to dismiss are going to be talked about. And the timing that they have on here is 1 p.m. Again, I don't know if that's something that we're going to be able to watch or not. We'll find out whenever it gets closer and documents start getting posted. Now, September 8th is the deadline for any expert disclosures. Any proposed lay witnesses, meaning friends, family, or any eyewitnesses that are expected to be talked to and fighting. Hopefully, there's then at least try to meet the standard that the state's asking you to meet.
I agree.
And while yes, it is a sort of alibi, even the judge admits in whenever they're giving the dates for the scheduling, they're going to be this at this that subject that they don't want to even have. You know what I mean? It's what's taking so long. Just file it already if that's what your intent is to do. Now, also on September 15th, and I'm looking over at my notepad.
Kelly, we're on the wrong time stamp here.
Okay. Go to 109.
Over here. They have
Wait a minute. No,
to
this is
enter in any of
114.
the proposed juror
114.
questions. Also, because on September the 22nd at 10 a.m., any and all remaining motions that need to be discussed are going to be heard on this thing. Actually,
Go
is
to
set
114.
like the final Monday.
Right.
That's going to be an interesting day. But 4 weeks of it is at least supposed to be trial,
Here
with
she
2
goes.
weeks of it being left to sentencing. That is the schedule for now. Now, I will say on some of the arguments that the defense and the state made, let's talk about the DNA, because the additional unidentified DNA profiles were brought up in here, and it seemed like Santa Claus had an issue with these being brought up. And honestly,
Now, some of you I saw a couple comments in here that they didn't like the way that I talked about these two individuals. I don't care, because I'm doing exactly what they're doing. I'm making a point. Do you see this young lady's facial expressions and the disdain when she talks about the system? Pay attention. Her eye movements, her head weaves. Much disdain in this young lady, who knows nothing, by the way, but purports like she's an attorney. Some of the stuff she says, and we'll get there, it will blow you away. Bear with us, because it's going to get really good. We had a little glitch on the time that wasn't supposed to start where it started. It's supposed to start about here.
I have an issue with the fact that there's still to this day unidentified profile.
Now you'll hear Dago will come in here in and out. So when you hear that echo, that's Dago coming in, and he'll interrupt her.
Files.
Now, this, you guys, is the part that peed me off. Okay. William Thompson was an ass that day, in my opinion. He's very arrogant and very cocky, and that is not professional. I had respect for him. I really did. I had a lot of respect for him based on his previous experience and his cases that he ran, so on and so forth. No, not anymore. After what
I had respect for him in the cases he ran before, but not now. Hey, Dago, who cares? I don't care whether you had respect for the man. He's been an attorney for the state attorney's office for 31 years. That's right, 31 years. And you're calling the man Santa Claus? And some of you people in here don't like the fact that I called him no neck? What's wrong with that? Are we throwing rocks in our glass house? Trying to make a point. These people are despicable. And you'll hear it. You'll hear it tonight. So just sit back and listen. I'm going to interrupt. But we're going to have fun with this. I promise you.
What I just saw Friday? No. Oh, I was pissed. I was so pissed off, you guys. The way he stood up when it was talked about the other 3 DNA profiles, okay? He was cocky about it. Well, Judge, we can't do something if we don't have anything to do with, can we now? What? Where is it? Why? What did you do with it? That's bullshit.
So what do you think he's talking about here, everyone? Anyone that knows anything about this case will know that there's 3 non-viable pieces of DNA. We all know what, I mean, my audience, this audience, the Crime Analysis 101 audience, I don't think you'll have to look up the word viable. His audience probably will have to look up the word viable. But I think all of you know what viable means. I mean, for the few that may not, it means, is it good? Is it good? Do we have enough skin cells here to determine whether we have viable DNA? Can we extract anything from this alleged DNA to determine whether we can create a profile? Newsflash. They couldn't, because there wasn't enough. Very common. This cat wants us all to believe that there's something fishy going on here. There's 3 pieces. They've retrieved 3 objects with DNA on it, but they can't seem to get it, and it's we don't know who it belongs to. Because it's not viable. A glove found by a garbage can out front, 50 foot away from the house by the road. That was debunked, by the way, because they pulled up video and they determined that that glove was not there during that time. It came after the crime scene was processed. Could it have been dropped by a, crime scene tech or a first responder? We don't know. The other one was a cigarette butt. I forget what was the other one, Kelly? Do you remember? There's 3 pieces of something. There's a cigarette butt, the glove, and something else. And it's slipping my mind right now. Bottom line, irrelevant, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know there was 2 inside and 1 outside.
Non-viable. Not a good piece of evidence. Period. But we're all to believe that it was viable. And the state is hiding something. State's hiding us. Because it's got somebody else's DNA on it. You know what? If it did, so what? You'll even hear him say this, or her say, it's a party house. Are we to come to the conclusion that they wouldn't find other DNA? But you're going to hear him say a little bit later on how ridiculous basically it is that DNA on that knife sheath matters. He says it. Pretty appalling.
I'm sorry. That's exactly it, Gemini. Bad Santa. It's ridiculous.
Bad Santa. Bad Santa. This seasoned attorney. This nice person This career attorney, Bad Santa. But I can't refer to Mr. Dago as no neck.
Kind of fits.
Double-edged sword, isn't it?
Mhm.
So for that person that cursed me and talked bad all up and down, that, oh, well, that. Can't believe he's talking about other creators like that. Bye-bye. I don't care. I'm making a point here. I'm saying what I can say because I can.
This is the biggest shit show, three ring circus I've ever seen in my life. To start,
And he's seen a lot. Old Mr. Dago. He's been in trials. He's put cases together. He's reviewed cases. He is the expert on, what did he say? Shit shows, three-ring circuses. I mean, Mr. Dago he's qualified. He's qualified to say these things because he runs a YouTube channel. He's the man. He's sitting there on a little soapbox in his chair with his chest all puffed out. This is nothing. Wait till the end here when you hear what he says about the entire community of Moscow. You'll be fired up when you hear it. Pretty disgusting. Some of you already know.
so now we're going to add this to the mix, okay? That is a joke. Complete joke. That, in a sense, they don't want people to be conspiracy theorists and to jump down in these rabbit holes and to put out false information, to say this, to say that. It's misinformation based on speculation and so on and so forth. They don't want people to speculate on this. What do you expect us to do when you put things out like this? What do you expect people to act like when you say, oh, we don't have it. We can't. It's not there. What? How? That makes zero sense to me. That should have been the first round of DNA that they should have ran. In my opinion, if they had it, makes me wonder, do they have it?
Makes me wonder, do they have it? He's wondering. Oh, he wonders a lot. But his wondering is fact. And he pushes his fact, on everyone. This is nothing, everyone. It gets better.
Did they have it? That's what I'm saying. The behavior is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And you can tell that the judge is irritated with this. I'm sorry, but you can see it. Welcome, Deception. Good to see you.
You can tell that the judge is irritated with this. You can see it. You think he's irritated with something that the prosecution's doing? Dago pulls out his crystal ball and now, he can predict what this judge is going to say and think. Because he's Dago. This is the Dago show. And he knows everything. He knows what the judge is thinking. This guy is pure comedy. I watch him for the comedy. And that's it. Again, Dago's a nice guy. Don't have anything against Dago as a person. I have everything against what Dago represents in his show. I have everything against and object to 100% of pretty much every single word that's uttered out of his mouth. There's no accountability. Zero. YouTube doesn't hold him accountable. Why? Because he can.
I don't think they have anything, you guys. I'm sorry. At this point, I've been saying, show me the proof that Brian did this. Show me the proof that Brian was in the house. Show me the proof that Brian was in the car. Show me this, show me that, show me this, show me that. They're not doing it.
Hey, newsflash. Dago.
They don't have to show you anything. They don't have to show us anything. The only time they have to show us anything is during trial.
So who's he think he is to demand that the state present their case to him and his minions and us? Who's this guy? Who's he think he is? For real? Boy, he gets on his soapbox here too. He gets even more fired up.
They're not showing us anything. Everybody that everybody comes at my channel. They leave comments. They come at you guys. They say, "Oh, you guys are a pro Koberger loving channel, this and that, and everything else." No, guys. No, we're not. We're a pro justice and a pro truth channel.
Hey, Franny Glass, you're missing the point. These people, like him, insult all day long. He just called a 31-year state attorney Santa Claus and an idiot, basically. But I can't call him no neck? Does that hurt your feelings? Then good. You can see your way out. I'm okay with that.
Is what we are. Brian Koberger should be innocent until proven guilty. He has not been innocent once since he's been arrested. Okay? And they've not shown us proof that he's guilty. This stuff right here proves it. This proves it. Where is the proof that Brian did this? Don't tell me that the DNA on the sheath. That's garbage. Don't tell me that the pings.
Don't tell me that the DNA on the sheath proves he's guilty. That's garbage. Yeah, the sheath, which holds the K-bar knife, which is missing, by the way, on a bed next to two deceased, brutally stabbed, sliced bodies. What did he say about that? That's BS. Really? We'll see what the 12 jurors think about that.
That's garbage. Don't tell me that his car. That's garbage. It's all garbage, folks.
Don't tell me that his car. Dago. Don't want to talk about the car, do we? Don't really want to talk about that knife sheath, do we? Because the PCA, which is just that, it's just a PCA, has about 5% maybe of the evidence that we need to just get him extradited back to Idaho. That's all we need. The rest of the information goes into what's called the incident report. And that's going to come from supplementals from all these different agencies that are involved, from all the crime labs that are involved, all kinds of stuff. But to him, he doesn't want to talk about that car. Don't want to talk about the 4 laps that car made around the time of these homicides. Don't want to talk about that car. Don't want to talk about the car that didn't have the license plate on the front of it during those 4 laps. That the state of Idaho requires that you have a front license plate on every automobile and truck. Don't want to talk about that. And he certainly doesn't want to talk about that knife sheath. That's all garbage.
It's not enough to convict a man on a death penalty case. I'm sorry. It's not.
Again, he knows very little about this case. He doesn't know what the evidence is showing. He's thinking that PCA is the tell-all. That's all they got. Actually, what this guy thinks. Promise you.
Not. There's more. There's more proof that he didn't do this than there is proof that he did do it.
Tell us about it. You won't hear any of that. But he puts it out there, right? He can't articulate a single theory except made up lies. You'll hear those too.
So again, that doesn't mean that we are pro Koberger, that we love him.
Yes, it does.
Okay? It means that we want the real truth.
Truth? Wow.
So that real justice can prevail in this.
Real justice? What would real justice be? What would that be, Mr. Dago? What would real justice be here? He doesn't tell us that either.
This part right here is disgusting to me. This is the most unprofessional I've ever seen any type of a prosecution case go, ever in my life.
And he's seen so many. I mean, this guy is a plethora of knowledge and experience. I mean, look at him. He's a pretty distinguished looking fella, isn't he? I mean, that he's been rubbing elbows with the big dogs. He's written many search warrants, PCAs, put cases together. I mean, this guy's done it all. Testified in court, gone to suppression hearings, gone to depositions. This guy right here has done it all. He's qualified.
And they're blaming it on, okay, well, we got this, we got that. We gave this to him, we gave that to him, so on and so forth. Where's the rest of it? Well, you got one more profile coming from, one more form coming, or document coming. Sorry, guys. And you could tell he was irritated. They objected to everything that the defense said, guys. Everything.
And the defense didn't object to everything that the prosecution said?
Bullshit. Sorry.
Hey, you know what's funny is people are getting in here from the T-Rev thug gang, making all these false accusations. I'm going to come back and bite you because I'll find your IP address. T-Rev's already getting sued for making up lies. Saying
You're
that
so stupid.
Saying that I'm a convicted felon and fake cop, stole my badges, beat my children. Tanner, I'm going to beat you later, buddy. Have I ever even spanked you?
No.
The worst part is when he says
y'all
that he's
hear
going to be the voice for your late wife.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
sick.
Mr. T-Rev says he's going to be the voice for my late wife that I did a whole tribute show to that died of cancer. Perhaps you should
disgusting.
listen to the show. I've never ever laid my hand on a woman in my life. And for anyone to say that I have and say this crap,
They project.
oh yeah. Every time you say it, I'm telling you, I got a pretty good attorney. So good that old Mr. T-Rev, where's he at? Oh wait, he's got COVID. He's got COVID. Oh, somebody came into the show. I was cracking up. It's always something with you, T-Rev. Anyway,
Like that.
I digress. But you should know that, you know, I had to pass some very intensive background checks to get to the positions that I've been in law enforcement and in the private sector, where I went and I had a lot of HIPAA things that I had to be in charge of. I had to go through some pretty intense stuff. So you guys keep spewing what you want to spew. But you know what? Just because you say it doesn't make it true.
That's right. Makes them a fool.
All a bunch of thug supporters that are upset because the show was pretty much, I don't know, decimated because the man owes nearly $50,000 in back child support, and his wife and children reached out to me and were on the show. And now, sorry to get off topic here. Now, all of a sudden, his financial stuff on the show is in his girlfriend's name. So the money's not going to him that he's getting now when he does his little 5-minute replays. It's going to his girlfriend. We have a snapshot of that. I sent it to his wife.
Can anybody say collusion?
Forensic financial investigations are pretty cool. I've done them in fraud cases. You think because you're hiding that stuff that there's no paper trail, Mr. T-Rev? Tick tock. And you know what? I just got contacted earlier tonight. Your wife and your kids, because we had kind people from this show send them direct money directly. She went and bought them school clothes, got them prepared for school next week, and they're going to send me a video. She said that we're going to make a video this weekend and send it to you, John. Thank you so much. And she wanted to thank everyone that sent her and the kids some money. Because
she's in the chat.
Lord knows she's in the chat.
Yeah. Yep.
Lord knows. Old baby daddy can't even send $122 a week. That was court ordered. Yet he can make $18,000 a month one month, that he told me. He might have been blowing smoke. I don't know, but that's what he told me. Anyway,
YouTube show.
Sorry. Oh yeah, his channel's projected to make nearly $100,000.
Yeah, no, it showed what he made.
Where's he at? Where you at, T-Rev?
Oh, poor T-Rev.
Bad boys.
Sorry to hold this up.
I can sort of let them make it on the one that was found outside. But whenever you have 2 additional profiles inside the home, it doesn't matter if it was in the bedrooms, if it was in the kitchen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you have additional unidentified DNAs in a case, and as of the date that you were working on the DNA profile of who you are now calling your person of interest, your suspect, the person that you're trying to put in front of a firing squad, if on that exact same date you still had all of these unidentified profiles, and by all of these I mean 3, What made you not do any workup on those profiles and focus just on this one?
Because they weren't viable. Isn't that a lovely face? Oh, you're going to see many more.
He never smiles.
And what I really would like to know, because I don't know, what the hell does Santa Claus mean when he says they were told that those DNA samples were not eligible to be placed in CODIS?
They weren't viable to be placed in CODIS. Not eligible means not viable to be placed in CODIS. Again, don't get mad at me for calling her anything when she's calling this 31-year attorney Santa Claus. It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
What the hell does that mean?
Wait a minute.
What is not being able to be ran into CODIS because it's not an eligible sample mean? Does it mean the type of sample that it was?
No.
Does it? I don't understand. You're investigating an active quadruple unaliving. Thanks, YouTube. And you have obviously surveilled other people to where you've taken a cigarette butt and done DNA testing on things, and it took you a while to get to where you are now. And the steps that you took to get to where you are now aren't making clear sense to pretty much anyone. And what it seems, including yourself, the state seems like they don't even know what's happening.
Oh. So the state doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what's happening. They have no clue.
No.
Because she says so. I mean, this overly qualified individual says so. Okay. I'll listen up a little more. Listen up. You might learn something from this young lady. I mean, she's a plethora of knowledge. She's highly trained. Her favorite class was science.
Guys, if you really like sit back and you look at the way that they respond to things, you know, Santa Claus just throws his arms up. I don't even know how many times. Like he doesn't know what to do.
That's called frustration because he can't give him what he doesn't have. The defense keeps demanding this evidence. And he's like, look, I don't have it. When I get it, you'll get it. Why are we wasting the court's time with these absurd accusations? It's insulting to the court. It's a game of words. Ann Taylor, you might have heard me already say this. If I were to give her a grade, C-. She's not a very good attorney. You guys are giving her way too much. Some of you are giving her way too much credit. I've seen way better attorneys, trust me. I mean, down here in Florida, we got some crime down here. We have seasoned attorneys. I don't know what she's done in Moscow, Idaho. I mean, there's not a whole lot of crime there. Heck, Idaho is not even a very populated state. Pretty quiet. So how much experience does she really have? Take her off that pedestal because she's nothing. She's actually not very good.
Like exasperated is the term.
Exactly.
Now, at this point, I've noticed that he doesn't seem to know what to do or what he's doing. Is this because law enforcement is not doing what they're supposed to do? Is that why? Is that where it's coming from? Because they keep screaming that they've given the defense everything they have.
They keep screaming that they've given the defense everything that they have. Go figure.
But they don't have everything. So therefore, they're not getting it. And why is that? Why is the... Welcome, Angela. Good to see you. Why is the law enforcement not handing over everything that they're supposed to hand over to the state?
Because it's not ready yet. called a process. We process evidence. Has to go through processes. Dago. This is a qualified individual right here. He knows what he's talking about. He's a badass. Because he's Dago. He's got his own YouTube show. What he says is the gospel. He's the man. If you think at the end of this that that's the man and she's qualified to do anything surrounding law enforcement and investigations, there's something wrong with you. Because I'm going to prove it. This is nothing, everybody. It gets better.
Why? Why? Why?
Why? In a row, he said those. Woo! That's compelling stuff right there. I'm on the edge of my seat for the next comments.
Should have been done a long time ago. Like I said, William Thompson had a very reputable career going. He had a very good history with what he's doing. He looks like a flipping clown at this point, folks.
31 years. Santa Claus, as he refers him to. Had a great reputation up until this point because Dago says so. And he looks like a clown now. Think about that.
And I'm sick of seeing this happen like this. Every bit of this is wrong. And we've been talking about this from the beginning and being chastised because of the way we see things and the things that are coming out. We're wrong. You guys are wrong. You're crazy. You shouldn't think that way, guys. That's not right. Where's your proof? Show your receipts. Do this, do that. There it is right there. We don't need receipts. It's right there in black.
Where? Did I miss something? Kelly, did you see something?
These people are too much. They're too much.
Please tell me, Kelly, please tell me you saw something. I mean, I missed it. Do we need to rewind?
We need to rewind.
I mean, it's right there in black and white.
Unbelievable.
There's irrefutable proof here. Because Dago says so.
Black and white, folks. We saw it all for ourselves. We have multiple experts talking about. Okay, we're going to argue. That's not an expert. That's an attorney. Okay, when somebody has multiple cases under their belt that they've done this type of work with, that makes them an expert. Sorry.
No, it doesn't.
Cringeworthy.
Dago's talking out of his sphincter once again. No. Just because you've done something multiple times does not make you an expert. You're not an expert in the court of law until the court deems you an expert. So, let's say I were to go to a trial right now and it's a dope trial. I've been deemed an expert in narcotics because I've been to many trials, I've been to many hearings, I've been to many depositions where they asked for my qualifications. Once that's been established, it's been established that this guy's qualified, he's an expert. It's documented in the court. So any subsequent trials or hearings or depositions that I go to, I can say that on such and such a date, in such and such a court, I was deemed an expert. So both sides can concede that John's an expert in narcotics. Once again, this man knows nothing
But there are people out there that listen to him every day and think he's the Messiah. He's the know-all. He's experienced. He's delusional. Period. Gets better.
Think about it for a minute, okay? But anyway, anything that anybody can say about this that's not true, that's wrong, this is not that, this is that, there's no reasonable doubt, there's this, there's that. Give me a break. At this point, come on. Enough is enough.
That's right. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And tonight, you're gonna be held accountable.
Yeah.
And Lana, you think I'm not coming towards you either? You could have been those eeny, meeny, miny, mo's. I've got plenty on you, Lana. You're worse than him. By far. By far. I've got tons of email about you, Lana, from Truth and Transparency. There's some people out there that despise you. It's going to be a really great show when I'm talking about you. I kind of wish that wheel would have rolled your way tonight for my first show on this topic. But as luck has it, poor old Dago drew the short straw. I'm ready for you. I got some pretty, you know what? I've got that damn trial that you were in. That's pretty interesting stuff where you tried to represent yourself. Woo! Unbelievable. But we'll get back to Dago now. I heard somebody mention Lana in here that we need to be talking about her. Oh, we will. We will.
Get your buckets out.
I promise you. I promise
This is
you.
going to be gross.
It'll be
coming up here.
epic. It'll be epic. Because you know what I do? I build cases. I don't just run my mouth. I'll give you that rope and let you hang yourself a little bit. I'll warn you. You know, you better stop. You're going to look pretty stupid like T-Rev. I'll let you keep going. Right here. Lana is psycho.
Ding, ding.
Oh, they're going to go off. This whole chat will be about Lana here pretty soon. Lana, it's going to be a fun one talking about you, girl. Because that's what you would say, girl. Dressed up in your sweatshirt and your backward hat. This lady goes on with a marker and a pencil and puts legal documents down on the screen and starts underlining them, going, all day long. And people sit there and watch that garbage. Anyway, back to Dago.
How they do it. I
I
don't.
digress. I don't either.
The prosecution needs to do their damn job, figure out where the hell everything is, get it to the defense as if they're supposed to so that this man can get a fair trial, so that he can prove if he's guilty or not guilty.
The prosecution needs to find all this stuff and get it to the defense so they can give him a proper, what did he say?
Proper defense.
Is that what he said? Proper defense?
But he's not pro Kohlberger.
This guy is what I call a tool. Now, he's not the sharpest tool in that toolbox or shed. But he's a tool. That's for sure. They're going to talk about this for a week. I'll be the topic of conversation. They'll say all kinds. I don't care.
Right.
You know what I know I can do? I can put my head down on that pillow and I could sleep.
Sue Ann Weir
Sad
made
thing
a
is,
very good point.
sad thing is, Kelly, what? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Sue Ann Weir made a good point. She said it's only defamation if it's not true.
That's right. Did somebody accuse me of doing defamation?
No, no, they're just saying
Oh,
that,
okay.
that Lana will sue for defamation. Yeah.
Lana, bring it, because I think there's plenty that you've done, and there's court records to prove it.
Yeah.
Dago, the dentureless dumbass. Texas Ranger. I mean, can somebody get that guy some chitlins for his teeth? Like, you know, like what's his face? And what was that movie, Dennis the Menace? When he stuck the chitlins in there. Somebody send him a box of chitlins. Or chiclets, or what do they call those pieces of gum? Somebody correct me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dago. I'm sorry, buddy, but you know, I guess you can slide the cigarette in there real easy. I'm not sure. I'll digress on that. But keep on with your commentary, buddy. We're listening intently.
Because either way, like I said, if he's guilty,
you notice that he blocked this. He blocked the screen because I don't know if that's his kid or his grandkid or what walks by. I've seen him on his show blast family members for walking behind him. How dare they? I bet this guy carries a big freaking club in his house. I bet these people walk on eggshells. My opinion. It's just my opinion. He's the king of his castle. That's his throne he's sitting on right there. And he's grandstanding for all of us. And himself, of course. He probably rewatches his shows when he's not on the show. Probably goes to sleep with them. Probably listens to himself. Probably takes a shower listening to himself. Probably takes a dump listening to himself. I mean, he is full of himself.
All he has to do is blur the
Burn him
background like I do.
What did he do?
He doesn't have to yell at his kids for it. All he's got to do is blur his background like I do.
Who cares if your kids walk behind you? I don't care. Tanner, you walk behind me again, I'm smacking the piss out of you. For those who don't know, my 15-year-old is sitting next to me.
Yeah.
He's getting close to being able to take me. He's about almost 6 foot and close to 200 pounds. So he's a big boy.
He's a good kid.
He's the love of my life. He's a great kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's another reason why I'm doing this. Because my kids had to hear some of the lies that were being spewed. And they know the truth. They've known me their whole lives. Their mother, who I'm divorced from, got on, and she was upset.
Yep.
Old T-Rev, when I get that money in that lawsuit, I'm going to give it to your kids. But you know what? My attorney reminded me, you do have a judgment against you that's pretty substantial, so anything awarded to me would go to the kids first. I win. Kids win. Their mother wins.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. It's called karma, punk.
at the stake, please. Because this is a horrendous crime and I'm sick of this shit.
Oh my god.
But if he's not, he does not need, nor does he deserve to go in front of a damn firing squad, folks, and lose his life. And that is this.
So what's this really about? Is it perhaps that Dago is just opposed to the death penalty? Could that be what this is about? I don't know. Just
No,
putting
he
it
wants
out
to
there.
burn him at the stake if he's guilty. But now,
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to get at. You don't quit stealing my thunder. We're going to hear that.
These things are replaying in my head over and over again.
Point is what's happening. Regardless of what the situation is, that's what they want. It's not going to happen, you guys. It can't be allowed to happen, okay?
It can't be allowed to happen, okay? It's not gonna happen, you guys. Guys. It can't happen.
It's insane. This is
It's
insane. Like Joel said, what the hell does he mean there's not enough to put through CODIS? You had enough to figure out it was DNA for a male DNA profile, right? How'd you...
Let's talk about that for a second. Profile for a male, profile for a female. You only need maybe a couple skin cells to be able to determine that. It's not enough to run an entire profile on someone, but it's very easy to determine whether someone is a male or a female. But the rest of the alleged evidence is not enough to run through the system. Not enough viable DNA there to get a DNA profile. But little tiny skin cells enough to determine sex. Can I say sex today? Or gender? I think that's how we can still tell whether a male is a female. Another topic. We'll move on from that.
Figure that out. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense.
This guy's.
I'm sick of this shit. Sick of it.
God, Dingo's sick of his shit. He's sick of it.
God.
That I think when I watch the way that he moves around whenever he's answering these questions. And it seems like...
Okay, here we go. Now, watch her eyes. This is a perfect candidate to watch in an interview if you have a video camera on her when she's telling a story of what happened, construction and fact and all that. This is the girl you want to watch. Body language, eye movement, facial expressions. You're going to see this. It's pretty comical because I'm going to break it down. I'm going to just kind of show her face. You'll see the disdain in her because she doesn't smile. Watch this. You're going to love this, everyone.
The problem that they're not understanding, like, okay, the state is sitting here saying the defense was all these things that they just don't exist. They're not real. We can't give them over because they don't exist. Well, that's the problem. These things should exist.
These things that don't exist should exist. Really? Because Jules said so? Is that true, Jules? These things should exist? Because Jules, the qualified one, the one with all the experience, says so? Oh, it gets better.
There should be workup to be reviewed. There should be workup that the defense knows exactly which path they need to take in order to validate the workup.
We don't do workups when we don't have viable evidence. Not how it works, Jules. We don't extract a tooth that doesn't need extracted. Pardon the pun.
And that was one of Mercer's arguments, that the defense needs to see the type of testing that was done. And they verify at the end of this that they don't know whether it was whole genome sequencing or this next generation sequencing that was done. And there's a huge difference in the way that these things are tested.
Really?
She's nuts.
I mean, she knows this because her favorite subject is science. Yeah, she's got a huge, YouTube channel with like, I don't know, 20,000 in subs. I don't know what she's got. I mean, Jules, why aren't you trying to be a crime scene tech or something? I wouldn't trust you. I
Bad
think
idea.
I think I wouldn't trust you. I'm sorry. I think you've got too much disdain in your blood. I think you'd like to see people get off that are guilty. I think you thrive on that type of stuff. Why? Because in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, she's a cop hater. She hates the police. She hates anything to do with the police. She hates law enforcement, period. Everyone is innocent. She's that juror that would need to have videotape of someone doing this act we're talking about before she would convict. She's that one juror that you'd want to, if you're in a jury, you'd be pretty frustrated with, because she's not going to convict. That's scary. Really scary.
And the way that this was actually done would determine the type of expert that the defense would need to obtain to validate and double check the work that was done. And that's a valid point to me. I mean, I understand that part.
Okay.
But when it comes to the
She understands that part. I'm glad. I'm stoked for you.
other arguments, when it comes to the DNA profiles that have just been left unidentified, why is the big question to me. Because you at that point didn't even know where the DNA on that knife sheath.
And who is you? You.
Looking in the mirror.
Look at that face. You know what? She's like, you know those Sour Patch Kids? That's what my face looks like after I eat one.
Mine too.
She looks like this. Every time I pause it, she's going to have a similar look with a different, just slightly different mouth expression or eye look. Disdain. In my opinion, of course. And why do I say that? Because I can. Because this is YouTube.
Was going to lead you. How do y'all not know if those DNA samples belong to your suspect? Because there is a possibility, guys. There's a possibility that these unknown DNA samples could be Brian's, but they.
There is a possibility that they could be Brian's. This person has 20-something thousand subscribers. People actually sit for hours and listen to this lady talk. What does that tell you about society?
We got a ways
Honestly,
to go.
They don't know because they haven't done any workup on them. So they're just being classified as unknown.
And I hate saying things like this, guys. She's right. Unless
here we go.
they did a workup on them and they didn't like.
oh, here we go. I'm going to back up
Here
a
it
couple right
is.
here. Get ready
Yeah.
for this. Get ready for the conspiracy theories to start
I
here.
hate saying this. You know what's coming.
He really hates saying this, everyone. Dago just hates to say this, but he's just got to say it. Because he can.
Unknown.
And I hate saying things like this, guys. She's right. Unless they did a workup on them and they didn't like what they saw and it didn't match what they wanted it to match. And I hate saying things like this, okay? But it sure as hell is what it looks like to me. Sorry to say, but it does. Sorry to say, but it does.
Back to the
Their
show.
impressions are hilarious.
Male DNA. Okay, but was that DNA ever tested up against the suspects? We don't know. Was that DNA
You're right. You're right. You don't know.
That's right.
You don't know. We won't know until that thing they call a trial.
ever tested up against anyone? We don't know. If it's being labeled as unidentified, I'm going to assume that they did do matches to this DNA against something, but was it up against Brian's? I guess I don't know if we're ever going to find out.
I don't know if we're ever going to find out.
Something.
She is so smart. It's just killing me. I gotta have, please send me your resume so I can help you disseminate it. I'll put a good word in for you. Please, Jules, let me disseminate your resume. I can make some calls. I really could. I could probably open some doors for you.
But I would like to know. And if it's unidentified, I mean, I kind of get it. It was a party house. Lots of people went in and out of that house. Some that the people that lived there didn't even personally know. Okay, I understand that. But
that's a pretty thing. That's a pretty easy thing to understand. Did she have some kind of epiphany there? I mean, did this like, I mean, wow. She understands.
there still should have been just as much workup done on the DNA samples that were found as there was on Brian's, because
And you know, that's exactly it, Blah. The incompetent of the law enforcement in the investigation. How do you think these families feel? Put everything else aside right now.
Here's the good part. This man, no neck Dago, gonna really get on his high horse here, and he's gonna represent the families. He's gonna tell us all about the families and how they feel and how they should feel and how bad he feels for them. Oh yeah, it gets good.
Everything. We don't matter in this, folks. We matter to ourselves and to each other, but we don't matter in this case. This is not us, okay? We just care about it. And we want truth for these kids and these families. So let's sit here and look at the fact that these families were in court on Friday watching this bullshit swirl in a circle and blow up in their faces, okay? So how do you think that Steve Gonsalves and Christy and Olivia and the rest of the siblings and the Chapins and Maddie's family and Xana's family, how do you think they all feel?
How do you think they feel, people? Tell me in chat. And when we open the lines up, how do you think that these family members feel about this little man sitting here telling us all how bad he feels when this guy has spewed the most horrific things and been on the show with this person and another person and creating these obnoxious, disgusting conspiracy theories about their children? How do you think? Somebody get a hold of Mr. Gonsalves and send him my info and tell him I would love for him to come on this show. He might like this show. I would love for him to come on here and tell us all how he feels about Dago and Jules and Lana and a couple others. Wouldn't that be a terrific show? So, Steve, if somebody sends you this, praying for you every day, brother. And I'm sorry. Can't even imagine the pain you're going through. can't. I'm going to help you. I'm going to expose these people for what they are. Disgusting, pathetic people. And I'm going to pray that you have peace one day. And I'm going to pray for anyone else that ever has anything like this happen to them, that they don't have to deal with people like this. Oh, Dago's such a nice guy. In my opinion, he's fake as hell.
Yep.
He's doing all this. He's such a nice guy and on his show. Guys, we don't allow that in here. Please don't do that. Come on now. Puts on this fake demeanor like he's some saint.
Right.
Hey, Dago. I got your number, buddy. I know who you are. And I can say it. You know why?
Because I can.
Yep. Exactly. And it's so gross.
Looking at this garbage. Because I know that they want justice. They want the right person, okay? They want the person that did this to go down. They believe that this person, based on what law enforcement has told them and this stupid PCA has read to us,
Stupid PCA.
that this guy's in jail right now, that this guy was in court Friday, that this is the person that did this, right? I can't believe that after Friday that they're looking at this going, that makes sense, because they don't.
Did I miss something? Did something happen Friday that would change their minds? Kelly, did something happen Friday that would change their minds?
Which Friday was this? Oh, the dump. And
Yeah.
Taylor's dump.
And Taylor
Yeah.
took a dump.
Yep.
Did something happen that would change their minds, do you think?
Yeah, they bought
I don't
into
think
all the-
so. I don't think so. But Dago thinks so.
They don't know the legal process. They just don't understand it. And so how can they understand that Ann Taylor's just grandstanding?
Yeah.
I feel horrible for them. Because
Did you hear that, people? Did you just hear little no neck here say, I feel horrible for those people. I feel just horrible for them. Oh my God.
As they cause them pain.
Pathetic.
it's a joke. It's being made a mockery.
You're a joke, Dago. You
Hot
are a joke.
kettle. There it is.
What's that?
He's looking in a mirror.
Yeah,
He's just projecting his own image.
he is.
Folks, I hate saying things like that. God rest these kids' lives.
He just said God and implied that he's a godly man. Remember that.
And God bless these families for dealing
God bless them. Remember that.
with this the way they have. I have nothing but respect for them. But this is
He has nothing but respect for these families. Remember that.
absolutely, unbelievably, and fucking sane. Excuse my language, but it pisses me off. It really does. And it's not fair to them at all. Nobody seems to care about that on either side of this. I think that, you know, they say that they do. They're playing a game back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. In the meantime, the families are in the middle of this watching this shit back and forth with no resolve. That's where it needs to be. That's who deserves to have true justice in this. That's who deserves to have the truth and the real answers coming out. Not either side of the case. It's the families. And that's what pisses me off.
Right.
Y'all didn't know at the time where
Oh, Dago's pissed. Oh my God. He's pissed.
So fake.
Dago's pissed.
any of that was going to go. So yeah, in my opinion, the exact same workup, at least to a certain point, should have been done to validate who those samples actually belonged to. And I honestly feel like the defense has a good argument there. I feel like the
And how do you know that nothing was done? Because they said it wasn't viable. So why are they going to perform tests on stuff that's not viable?
Yeah.
Her favorite class was science. Did she go to the common sense class?
Didn't she say
Does
she
she
had a
possess
forensic
that?
background?
Yeah, she says she has a forensic background because she read a book or something. Like, she's been in forensics. She's had a career. Oh, you'll hear that. I may have to fast forward this a little bit, though.
defense has a good argument when it comes to that and when it comes to the IgG. I feel like
Yeah.
if it was obtained correctly and the state has confidence in it, then why not just give it to them? And that's something else that the defense brings out at the end of this whole situation, at the end of the hearing, is that the fight that they're having to put up just to get something that other states willingly give over with no problem is a huge suspicion. And it seems like the judge kind of agreed.
Big red
so
flag.
I don't know really at this point.
Seems like the judge kind of agreed. Why? Because you say so? Really?
If the IgG information is going to be forced over or not. But I don't even know if they can, guys, because according to what we're getting from the state, the FBI didn't hand over any actual workup. They just kind of handed them the results.
Because they don't have to. It's IgG. It's a tool. It's not evidence.
And was like, here you go.
And did I tell you? They're not planning on using it as evidence. So it's not evidence. End
Right.
of story.
Now go prove it. So I don't know how this argument can go because, you know, the state's correct. The defense is sort of asking
That's
for
right,
things
Dinky.
that technically
Sad.
don't exist. But the defense is also right in asking for those things because in, you know, lots of states, they exist and are willingly handed over. I don't know. Now, when it comes,
Right. You don't
She
know.
doesn't know.
You don't know anything.
Not a clue.
Zero.
to the grand jury stuff that they're trying to say there's errors with in their original motion to dismiss, I feel like that's just a bunch of like nitpicking nothing, especially now that I listened to the way that Ann Taylor kind of described it. Because she was talking about, oh, there was an error on all of the forms for all of the jurors. There's the same error up in the corner somewhere. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to use that as a...
Blah,
so that,
blah,
This
blah,
New England
blah,
actually-
blah, blah, blah.
So it's gonna nitpick at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's the right way to do it. I'm just saying I can kind of understand how.
and I know that there was some sort of issue apparently with some juror not checking the box on
Yeah, that's all nonsense. He
Yeah.
actually
People,
agrees.
there's
that
no
it's
way in hell that these people are not going to be tainted by some form of something, especially with the smear campaigns that have gone on with Brian. Okay, good to see you, Richie 7G. That's what I'm saying, and people can disagree with me that they weren't smear campaigns, but they were. They were. From the moment that the dude was arrested, we saw nothing but anything that he could be linked to, any negative shit that had to do with him. That's all we saw flying all different directions. And people are saying that the defense is doing the same type of thing on the opposite side of it. I mean,
I do believe that an innocent man was accused in partaking in this horrific event with Mr. Kohlberger.
It's disgusting what they did to
A
him.
man who's no longer with us, a distinguished veteran who had some mental health issues. He took part in that. Huge show about it.
Disgusting.
I don't think so. I think they're trying to balance it out, folks. I think they're trying to balance out what the prosecution's already done. Okay?
Hey, John,
So,
you want to go to the other clip?
You know,
Yeah, we're getting at around 11. We're going to move to one more clip, and then we're going to open up the phone lines. But I want to get to this clip for a reason. You're going to hear this little man make a comment that, in all honesty, really should have a serious effect on his show.
Oh, boy.
I'll let you all decide. Because if anybody else were to say something like this from like our side, because again, there's us and there's them. No matter what you believe or want to believe, the reality is us and them. Is it us against them at this point? I would say, yeah. I'm just being honest. Just being very honest. Because at the point that Mr. Kohlberger was put in handcuffs and he was extradited back because of a PCA and the hearing was done and the judge found probable cause to allow him to be extradited back to Idaho, that's when things started to change. Because we can no longer speculate on who did it. It was okay when we didn't have a suspect. We all got along. We're all trying to figure it out. But once that man was put in handcuffs and guys like this didn't want to believe it, that's when things changed. So we're going to play this one. And I want you all to listen to this carefully. I want you to listen to what this man says and how disgusting what he says actually is. Replay it. Because it's really bad. My hands. Did you hear that? I didn't even know that. I didn't catch that. That was a pure accident. My hand's itching. Man, am I getting money? Yeah, you're getting money, buddy. He just went, my hand's itching. Am I getting money? Sure he is.
Thank you, Tanner.
What happened? We get kicked out?
Guys, because we have.
No, it just didn't carry over
also
sound.
looked back at some things a while ago. God, my hand's itching. Am I getting money? Good Lord. We looked back at what law enforcement was making as far as salaries and stuff go. Do you guys remember that? Do you remember that, Chains?
Here we go. The relevance is now how much money police officers make in Moscow, Idaho. 56 grand, which is pretty average. He goes on a tirade about how city officials are paid and how much money. Oh, yeah, you're going to love this one, everyone. You're going to love this one. I wonder how much money he made in this show. Pathetic.
I do.
You remember how much they were making? Exact numbers, I'm sure.
A pretty penny.
A lot.
56,000 and above. yearly.
Ooh.
So, police in Idaho, Moscow, Idaho, make $56,000 and above. So, what does that have to do with this case?
Exactly.
Pay attention to what they're doing here. They're stoking the fire of hate. This guy, he doesn't like the hate. He's not a hater. He's all about love and peace. Dago is just a loving, peaceful guy. So is this Chains or whatever. No more. She was in here a little bit
No
ago.
more. Yeah.
No more Chains or Chains no more. Let me ask you something. I mean, she looks like a Caucasian. Did you have some people in chains at some point in your life? Chains no more? I would be offended at that. What's your point? Chains no more. Tell us about that. Come on up and chat. Tell us about it. What do you mean?
To be patrolman.
Just to be a patrolman, yes.
The Chief Fry, he made a good penny. Okay.
He's the chief of police. He makes good money.
Too much. And some of these other officers were making like double salaries, guys.
From what
I
you would
remember,
see in Atlanta or in a big city, you know?
yes. Yeah, and this is little old Moscow, Idaho.
Hey, Kelly. So what determines the pay structure in a city of city officials and law enforcement? What kind of stuff determines that? Do you know?
Tax base.
The tax
Median
base.
income. No.
Right. I mean, that city has good revenue. They've got a big college right there. So they can afford to pay for good quality officers. Good quality candidates deserve a higher pay.
Right.
So what's their point here? Let's see if we can figure it out.
85K and up. Exactly, Chick. There was a couple that were up over 100,000. Also, we had we also looked up Idaho State Patrol with Tolson. He made a really good amount of money.
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder how much old Mr. Dago makes on this here YouTube show where he sits on his butt for hours. Or how much he makes. We'll get back to that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. And he's cracking on people making good money that are out there risking their lives for people like him.
Right.
But it's okay for him to sit on his butt and spew this, as he would say, garbage all day long and make money. It's okay. But law enforcement officers can't make money.
Mm.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting.
He's not a peaceful dude. He's a fake, in my opinion.
Yep.
I'll let the rest of you opine on that.
Well, they are. They're great in chat.
After you hear this, if you're not appalled by this little no-neck man, there's something wrong with you. Unless you're one of his minions and one of those people that think like him, because then you'll hate us. That's okay. I still love you.
Hey, Jules is in chat. There she goes.
Poor form, correct your issues, and leave me out of it. Now, Jules, I'm not leaving you out of shit. Nothing. Jules, the person who just a few weeks ago decided that WSU Kim, that I'm debunking her. Hey, newsflash, I debunked that lady months ago, yet you and your cronies kept having her on. Kept entertaining her garbage. When I interviewed her and she said that there were 5 suspects and one of them was the plumber from the college that came in with a wrench and knocked Ethan out with the wrench, credibility was already shot, but it went completely out the door at that point, and it was all recorded, and you all watched it. Yet you still entertained her for clicks because of the garbage she was saying. You're disgusting, Jules.
Yep.
I don't know if you have children. I don't know anything about you, but you should be ashamed of yourself. You don't know diddly about this stuff. And neither does this little no-neck person. Don't get on my channel and start telling me to not to leave you out of it. No, you interjected it. You interjected yourself into this. You do it every day with your nonsense and your garbage and your hate. I look like I'm a hater. I'm not a hater.
I'm not either.
I'm just concerned for people like you being able to exist out here and spew this garbage because you can. You disgust me. All of you disgust me. Anybody with any moral compass should be disgusted by any of you. But there's a lot of people like you. So keep it coming. I want to see more of you in chat.
Yeah.
Come on onto the show. I'm going to open up the phone lines.
Yeah.
Send me an email, detectivejohn68@gmail.com, and I'll check my email, and you tell me you want to come on, and I'll bring you in on the show. You too, Dago. Come on in. I won't bite your heads off. I want you to just justify why you do what you do. What is your fight really for? I'll tell you what it's for. It's for this. That's all it's for.
Bring her on.
She won't come on. She's a coward.
They both
Just
are.
like that Harsh is a coward, insulting my country and our police and the way we do things when his country, their magistrates wear wigs. Piss off, mate.
Yep.
Hey, I mean,
It starts somewhere, guys. So if you're gonna really follow the money, you got to go with government. You got to go with the mayor.
They get into really following the money and government corruption. Wait till you hear what they're going to say, everyone.
Because they make money.
Yeah, people aren't allowed to make money, apparently, to these people. But you guys allegedly can sit at home and collect that check, right? But those of us out there that work hard for a living, we can't make money. Disgusting. Pathetic. Only in America. Remember that. Only in America do people like you exist and are allowed to. Over in the other side of the pond, too, apparently with Harsh. This is only the beginning, everyone. I've got way more.
Your political leaders, attorneys, judges, all of them. They all get into corruption somehow, some way.
Sporty Z, hello.
At some
take much,
point.
guys. Just a little bit of this. That's all it takes.
Money.
Oh, so now just takes a little bit of money to breed corruption. Oh, wait, this gets really good, everyone. Has a lot to do with this case, according to them.
The thought of being able to retire and live comfortable for the rest of your life, not
The thought of being able to retire and live comfortable the rest of your life. You know, that's called the American dream. But to this guy, it seems to be a crime.
have to worry about anything, you know, buying a boat, going cruising the Bahamas, doing this and doing that kind of stuff. It's got, you put it in somebody's head. Guess what? And this is all you got to do. Just let me grease your hand a little bit, okay?
That's another good point. The U of I can pay. Yeah.
Greasing hands. Let me grease your hand a little bit. Yeah, you know all about that, don't you, Dago? Allegedly. You know all about that greasy palm stuff, right, Dago? Allegedly. Just saying.
They could.
Wait, say that again.
The U of I could pay money out to
Of course.
cover.
Oh, now the U of I controls the whole town. They paid out all this stuff. For what? To frame Brian Kohlberger? Because they had to arrest somebody? Unbelievable.
Shh. Quiet. Shh. Quiet. Don't talk about this. Make this happen. Make this go away. Shh. Okay.
Okay, boss, I will.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Here, grease this. Here's this.
Yeah, that's it.
We got to be quiet because this is where
Gotta
all
be
this money
quiet.
comes from. I've been telling you guys that. This town is run by that college. This town runs because of that college.
run by that college.
If that college didn't exist and it wasn't making its money, that town don't exist. Either does the government, law enforcement, mayors, prosecutors, judges. None of that. It doesn't exist if the town don't exist. So they got to keep the college happy because that's where the money comes from. In this whole, I've said this, guys. Yeah, I remember that. That's what I was talking about, Molly. We looked at this. Molly sent me the wages and earnings and bring home for the officers a while back. Yeah, honey, if you have that, send it back to me again. I want to show them.
Yeah,
Hey, hold
send
on
me
a
the
second,
wages and
John.
earnings for all the
Guys,
officers a while back.
It
You know,
was crazy.
send me that because it's
It was.
relevant here.
And these are patrolmen.
John, can you hold up
It's
for
not
a
even that
second?
good. We've seen.
What's that?
Can you hold up for a second?
Yep.
Brooklyn, Cedar. I have so much respect for you. And now you're coming in here after seeing what we just showed and the disgusting crap that came out of her mouth. And you're going to defend her? I don't think so, Brooklyn. Get it right. That ain't right. And it ain't fair.
Hey,
Okay, sorry.
you know what?
Sorry. I can't take
if
this
she
shit
came
no
on
more.
this show, I would talk to her, but she's a coward. I wouldn't take her head off. I've got no one to talk to. I'm just talking to an audience. Kind of like what this little fella's doing. He's a badass behind that mic and that keyboard and that camera. He pounds his fist. I can do that too. Why is it okay for him and not for me? Is it because he's not talking about another creator? The forbidden topic?
Hey, sportsy girl. My keyboard's
Seen
broke,
that.
so I'm having a hard
This
time.
gets really
typing.
good, everyone. I'm telling you, it's going to get really good here in a minute. And then we're going to open up the phone lines.
Firsthand, guys. Do you think they're going to make other arrests? I don't know what's going to happen at this point, Carrie, because with this being said, now we have to know what these 24 things are. We need to know that, okay? It's obviously not redacted. It's been redacted from this part of the form, but we need to find it.
And here's something else to think about. A lot of those spouses work for the city and county as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. A lot of the law enforcement officers' spouses work for the city and county also. Do you know how common that is? Is that a crime? Is there something nefarious about that? What is her point? What does that have to do with this case? The loving, caring people fanning the flames of hate and disdain. You're going to see against an entire community here. You're going to be appalled as what this little fella is about to say.
Well, you know, Fry's wife works for the clerk's office.
Oh my goodness. Fry's wife works for the clerk's office. And he's going to say there's a conflict of interest. Why? Because she works for the clerk's office. So she's writing motion. She's doing criminal stuff.
She doesn't
She's a
work for.
clerk.
She is
She's a
not. She's
clerk.
an auditor. She's an
Right.
auditor. She has nothing to do with
That's
the grand
right.
juries.
She's
or
not even a
court
clerk.
or
She's an
anything.
auditor. I stand correct. That's right. We actually looked it up. We have the evidence. She's an auditor. She's not even a clerk.
Titanium, I don't come to your channel anymore. So don't worry. Hey, bring her up on panel. Bring Tanya up.
And there's been more that we've heard about as well. So this town is run by itself, you guys. It comes from within. And it's not healthy, guys. It is not healthy at all.
It comes from within, everyone.
The town has a very dark, rotting heart.
The town has a very dark, rotting heart. You know why the town has a very dark, rotting heart right now? Because 4 of their residents and their students from the University of Idaho were brutally taken from them. And they had this unbelievable stench hanging around. And they had people like you, Dago, spewing these lies. That's why they have a dark heart. Not because you said they have a dark heart because they're bad people. Unreal. That's not it. Gets better.
As I'll put it. Okay. And it's all about itself. It's gonna implode is what's gonna happen.
The town's gonna implode.
And what happens in situations like this is that's when, like, a small town like Moscow has all these problems. I know this because I've lived outside of a town that's dealing with the same thing. A small town like this, when the government is corrupt and it doesn't run right, and they find this and they find that out and blah blah blah, that's when the state comes in.
So now, Moscow, little towns like this that are corrupt, the state comes in, and the state is going to take over. They're going to raid the police department. The Idaho State Police are going to take over and kick their own force out of the police department. They're going to take over. They're going to do a coup d'etat in Moscow. The governor's going to sign off on that because Dago says so. Unreal. Gets better. That's not it.
No, I don't know if that would be such a good thing for Moscow if the state came in, but the state will come in and take over, and they take control of everything. Okay, Molly, no problem. So, yeah, and Coco's right. Yeah, there's people in there holding dual positions. Okay. That's a fact.
There's people holding dual positions. You know why people are holding dual positions? Because they're trying to fill another position, and that person's covering for 2 positions. And should they be paid for that? Absolutely. They're doing double the work. So until that position gets filled, they're holding dual positions. I did it. That's a crime too. That's corrupt.
It's not cool. And they're paying these people insane amounts of money to do these things. And I even said that Julie Fry should not be in charge of anything that has anything to do with this.
Julie Fry should not be in charge. She's not. She's an auditor. We looked it up. She's not in charge of anything.
This case, you know, selecting the grand jury, being in charge of that or not, or having anything to do with any of the documentation either. I'm just sorry. That's a conflict of interest.
because Dago says so.
And don't forget about the secret society stuff.
Oh, here we go. The secret society
Sworn
stuff.
secrecy.
Oh my goodness.
Which starts with the frats and the sorority.
The frats and the sororities now. They're all involved in this. We're back to that again. Let's not forget about the secret society stuff. Oh my goodness. This could go on. But I want to get where was that one phrase, that one comment that we're looking for? What was it at? 116.
The Greek life.
Brace yourselves, everyone. Wait till you hear this. Back. You ready? Listen up.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I don't know if he was a frat guy, if he was an Idaho guy, whatever. I don't.
So what they're talking about here is, you know, all these people, the locals that grew up there, went to school there, so they're biased or they're crooked because they grew up there. They went to University of Idaho. They became police officers or worked in government or what have you. They're all crooked. Talks about the mayor, but I'm going to bypass all that. You can only imagine. But wait till you hear this. If anyone from Moscow, Idaho is listening to this, you should be pissed when you hear this little man utter these words. It's absolutely disgusting.
Oh no, but why not at this point, you know?
All I can suggest is you guys need to do your homework. Really.
We need to do our homework because they did. They looked up salaries. It's amazing what the fingers can do on a keyboard.
Well, we've been
It's
doing a lot of homework.
so important.
Here it comes.
Okay, folks.
Of the Moscow Police Department.
Here we go.
Wait
I want you to visualize something here. I want you to
Visualize everyone.
Well, yeah, me too. Linear has always bugged me too, crime solver, and I wondered.
Do I need to go forward a little bit, Kelly? I don't remember.
No, it's right there.
Okay.
Draw right. The town is inbred, basically. And
wait. Okay, hold on.
Something. Here we go.
Listen up again.
I want you to visualize something here. I want you to see something
Visualize this, but listen.
here. Well, yeah, me too. Linear has always bugged me too, crime solver, and I wondered. Draw right. The town is inbred, basically, in a sense.
The town is inbred, basically.
This is the kind of crap that pissed me off about these people defending them.
Did you hear that, everyone? This little no-neck punk just accused an entire town of being inbred. The entire town of Moscow is a bunch of inbreds.
They're all corrupt too, right?
Bunch of corrupt inbreds. He'll issue an apology tomorrow, I guarantee you, and he'll delete this video, but we have it, and I'll play it again. Dago. You're not going to backstroke out of this one. Did you all hear that? How many people are in Moscow? I forget the population. 22, how many? Yeah, 22,000 people, just locals, not including the students. My son knew it. So with that, we'll back out of that. We're going to open up the phone lines. And we're going to take some calls. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me how you really feel. We want to hear it. Number's 386. Can you put it on the banner? We're going to put it on the banner here 1 second. Hold on a second. Hey, give an applause to my son. He's been, I'm pretty
Yay,
involved
Tyler,
here,
thank you.
He's helping me out tonight. I'm a bit emotional. Sorry. 386-287-1997. 386-287-1997. Come on in. Let's talk about this. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Because I'll tell you what, looking at chat, y'all are pretty hot. Pretty hot.
They've been on a roll tonight.
We had some trouble with this before. Hopefully it's working. Ken, are we good? 386-287-1997.
My keyboard will only let me type one letter a second.
What, are you having internet problems over there?
Just with my keyboard, there's some setting that's gotten turned on and I can't find it.
You sure this is on?
Come on, Truth, call in.
So bottom line is, here we go.
Call from
Pat Gordon.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, man?
Hey. Living the dream, living the dream. So what are your thoughts on this, buddy?
Man, them a bunch of idiots, dude. Complete idiots. You know, there's several of them. There's Rory, with that "Thou shalt not kill."
Oh yeah, I got all kinds of
today.
stuff on him too.
Yeah, I know. I realize that. I try to watch him, but man, I can't. I'm not listening to that Snaggletooth bastard on there. He's horrible.
I didn't say it.
Yeah, I'll say it, man. I could care less.
I'll say it.
I talked to Jeff the other day. Little punk Rev, he booted me off.
Did he? That's what he does.
Yeah, and well, you know, he is what he is. You know, I'm in Texas and I work for the state and you know, we had a saying for the little he-she's out at the unit. We called them punks. So that's his new little name, Little Punk Rev.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to hide behind his old lady, you know, and all that come out of her mouth was filth.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
she's special, isn't she?
Special ed.
Mm-hmm.
That's about as far as she gets. Special ed.
Yep.
For a woman to talk like that is horrible.
For anyone to talk like that is pretty horrible.
Well, yeah.
But just listen to some of their lyrics. Pretty disgusting.
Man, I can't understand them, John. I can't understand them at all. That's not music. That's not rap. That's not nothing but somebody running their mouth.
Yep. You know, they can't articulate a sentence or hardly speak, but they can sure rap. You know, they can put their feelings out on a rap song, which I love rap. I did a little LL Cool J earlier, with another creator. So I don't have anything against rap. You know, I'm diverse.
Well, I mean, I don't either. To each his own, you know.
Yeah.
We listen to George Strait here.
Yeah, right. That's a cultural thing, you know.
But,
you're from Texas.
Yeah. yeah. I live in East Texas.
Yes, sir.
You can tell by my accent, right?
Yeah. I got a little bit of one, not too bad though. But I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my roots here in Daytona Beach, Florida. You go a little north around Gainesville, and you'll get, you know, pretty heavy accents up there, more Georgia.
Really? Yeah, I was watching the ball game earlier when you came on, so I just turned it off and come over here.
Well, I appreciate you, man. So you're with us on what we're talking about?
Oh yeah, all the way, man. You know, when this first happened, when we didn't know anything, you know, yeah, there was some speculation, you know,
Absolutely.
about that.
Absolutely.
I was on her Kaylee's boyfriend, you know.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be?
And,
That's the ex-boyfriend. He's a prime suspect. Period.
right. And they were they
Yeah.
had just broken up, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know, and I feel bad about that. But
I do too.
this scumbag, he's had issues apparently for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, I cannot understand how people cannot see it, man. I have been around numerous murderers, you know, working for the state. And
You work in corrections, I take it, correct?
Yes, I did.
Right.
And they're out there, man.
Yeah.
They're out there, you know, and even in there, you can't trust them.
You know what? One thing I
turn your
take
back on them.
Yeah. You know, one thing I take away from things that I've learned, has to be pretty bad for your own father to throw you in jail for stealing your sister's phone. The dynamic in that household had to be very bad for that to happen, because that's grand theft.
Right.
Right.
So he had to be misbehaving pretty bad for that to happen. I mean, it's a cell
Well, he
phone.
was strung out on heroin. I don't know anything about, you know, what heroin is. I've never seen it before in my life.
Yeah.
But apparently, from what I've read, it's pretty bad.
Well, it's gotten worse because of the PDMP, the prescription drug monitoring program. When that hit and people couldn't get their pills anymore, you know, opiates are opiates, you know, and when they couldn't get their pills anymore, heroin's an opiate. So heroin made a huge comeback. That's why we're having so many issues now with heroin.
Right. Well, I'm from a small town, and you know, it might be here. I don't know. I've never seen it or heard of it or anything like that. But you know, I know there was a big pill problem at one time.
Yeah.
There may still be. Like I said, I don't know. That's not my.
Yeah, not near what it used to be, because they came up with the prescription drug monitoring program that stopped all doctor shopping. So if you got a script from one doctor, you couldn't go down the street and get another one. That's what that program did. It put you in a database. But listen, brother, let me try and catch another couple calls. You have anything else you want to say, or?
No, man. I'm enjoying the show, and just keep up the good work.
All right, man. I really appreciate you, brother. God bless. God bless, man. And when I say God bless, I mean it.
Same here, brother.
All right. Peace.
All right.
Bye. 386-287-1997. I saw a couple dropped while we were waiting there. 386-287-1997. And, you know, just for the record, everyone, if you know, I knew I would catch some heat for doing this. Talked about it. Wouldn't take it back for the world, because you know what? It needs to be done. Just because you can say something doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Just because you have a platform, I'm pausing the phones, doesn't mean you should. Just because you can get paid for spewing garbage and sit at home and supplement your government check doesn't mean you should. Or does it?
Call from
Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm splendid. First time caller? I know you are, because I've never heard you before. So what's on your mind?
Truth exposed.
All your
Can you
truth
speak-
exposed.
Can
We love
you
you.
speak up just a little? Can you speak up just a little? I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
It's truth exposed.
Truth exposed. Hey.
Hey.
So glad to hear
You're
from you.
awesome.
It's always good to put a voice with the name, right?
Right.
So what do you think?
These people on the Brian Kohlberger being innocent kick, they drive me nuts. They really do.
Yeah.
They drive a lot of people nuts, man.
Mhm.
Or ma'am. I'm just saying that in general.
Yeah.
It's just you know, the thing that bothers me is how the families feel about it. And they can't speak out.
I know, and it's
That's
it's
right.
not just the victims. It's it's a lot of people that go through things like this. They've been attacked by murderers,
Mhm.
and we're
Right.
all kicked back sitting here thinking, oh, it is quite possible to gut somebody in like 0.2 seconds with a 4-inch paring knife.
Yeah. Did you see my video where I laid that out?
It doesn't take but a second for intestines to hit the ground. They love gravity.
Yeah, exactly.
And for people to face a guy that's 6 foot tall with a 7-inch K-bar can't creep up on somebody while they're asleep laying on their side and start doling out strikes. Plus he took kickboxing.
Yeah.
How long do you think that took?
Yeah.
I mean, because even if a girl is, let's say she's 5'9", she's not gonna be 12 inches thick.
Right.
That knife is gonna run. That knife is gonna pretty much run all the way through.
I take it you watched the video, right?
Well, yeah, I did, but I've had to stab I stabbed an attacker.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. No, I mean my video that we put out on the show.
Yes, you know.
Oh yeah. So, I don't know. Being a butcher's daughter, I know what kind of damage a knife can do.
Yeah.
Sure.
Especially a sharp one.
Well, you know what else is funny? Is how about the fact that they were out partying all night too? They were, clearly Maddie was pretty. I'm not saying this is bad. They're out partying that night, and Maddie was pretty lit. Kaylee wasn't so lit.
Right. I mean,
it doesn't make Maddie a bad person. It's just
taken
saying
them-
it would have made it easier.
Mhm.
Yeah, it wouldn't have taken them 5 or 10 minutes of being still to be completely knocked out.
Right.
I mean, it really wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't.
And let's say you're laying on your side. This is what people don't understand about the defensive wounds. And I was talking to one of my friends about this earlier. If you're laying in your bed and you're facing away from the door, somebody comes in and they're pretty much doing a downward hook shot, like an overhanded stab, your arms are going to be in the way. That doesn't mean that they're defense wounds.
Right.
If your arms get in the way of somebody striking you with a knife, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a defense wound.
You're right.
Right.
It just means somebody got the jump on you and your arms were in the way.
Yeah.
That's like in my video when I said how many times would somebody have to stab you with this knife for you to be incapacitated? Actually, not even stab you, just slice you with it for you to be incapacitated.
Well, the first thing that happens when somebody gets stabbed is they go in shock. Their brain don't know how to process what the hell's just going on.
Right.
That you're talking about people that have never experienced violence a day in their life, and all of a sudden they've got to process, I'm getting stabbed to death in the middle of their sleep. That's the reason why, I don't believe anybody screamed.
I didn't have an opportunity to scream. They were ambushed.
He had them mortally wounded before their brain even realized what was going on.
You're absolutely. We're all speculating here, but any prudent person would think that way. But not people.
Well, well, in my own experience, I know what I've seen with my own eyes.
Right. Your daddy was a butcher. You know what a knife can do.
Well, I know what a knife can do because I stabbed my attacker.
There you go. Hopefully you got him good.
Well, I mean, I stabbed him with a 4-inch paring knife. It probably didn't leave but about 1.5 inches hole.
Right.
But as soon as he grunted, his small intestines found the ground. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that. If you breathe deep after you get stabbed, your intestines will spew out like over.
They're under pressure.
I mean, that's just people don't know shit about anatomy that says, how did they not scream? Well, it's not a horror flick. It's real life.
You ever been punched? You ever been punched in the gut? Knocks the wind out of you.
Yeah.
You ain't screaming.
Yeah. A grunt's about all you'll get out of them when you get stabbed.
Well, listen.
And it's just like punching air. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
There is no resistance when you stab somebody. You don't feel it.
Nope.
As the person that's doing the stabbing, you don't feel any resistance.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Not unless you hit bone.
You nailed it. Well, let me catch another caller. I appreciate you. I got there's like 15 callers waiting right now. Got anything when you wrap it up with?
Oh no, I'm good. They just blow my mind.
Are you happy with what we're doing here?
Oh yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Well, that's the consensus I'm getting.
We need people that speak out for victims instead of trying to always make these murderers innocent.
Oh well, I'm gonna catch hell for it. I promise you. But I think that when I start posting all these nice emails I'm getting, people might shut up a little bit. But I doubt it.
Well, I got you back.
All right, darling. You have a great night. I appreciate you.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Catch you.
I'll be right back, John.
All right. All right. The phones were beeping like crazy there, so here we go.
Call from
Brian Herman.
Brian Herman, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Living a dream, pissing people off,
Nice.
apparently.
Yeah, oh, wow. No, I just want to say I've been watching the show for quite a while, and I like what you do. So,
man, I appreciate it so much.
But yeah, back to what she was kind of talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I am in the kind of Indianapolis area.
Hey, now, all right, cut him off. Sorry about that, everyone. We don't condone that. Come on, man. Come on, man. That's just come on, man. Unbelievable. 386-287-1997. Hold off on phones. That's a word. Cuts me hard. My first cousin is his daddy's African American, and he works for me. I've had to reel him in at times because he gets bitter sometimes. And I try to show him the good in people. And then somebody like that comes on and just tears down everything that I've been trying to tell him. Just disgusting. All right, open them back up. 386-287-1997. If anyone wants to call, we're going to take one more call, everyone. And then I'm going to have some closing statements and we'll move on till the next one. Now, is every one of my shows going to be about this? No. It's going to be about a lot of different things. We're going to be a diversified show. We're going to talk about different angles surrounding crime, different scenarios of crime where, we're going to hear some stories. I've got an FBI agent buddy of mine that I worked many cases with that's going to come on the show. He's actually he actually worked in the Middle East on some very high profile cases. And 9/11, he worked on that, very involved in that. I've got some former colleagues of mine that are going to come on the show. I've got a very high profile attorney, and potentially, and I hope that I get him convinced, because judges like to remain anonymous. They don't like to put themselves out there because they were a judge. I'm trying to get a former judge that used to write a lot of my warrants to be a part of the show. Those are the type of people that should be on here talking about the facts. Not people like Dago. I mean, anybody can talk about anything, but don't act like you know what you're talking about. You don't know anything. Because people actually start to listen to you and they believe you. They believe what you're saying. They may have just clicked on your link and were entertained. It's called brainwashing. These little cults start to happen. This won't be a cult. Everyone is welcome on this show until you get abusive. I'm going to take this one more call. What was that? Who was that? All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up, everyone. I appreciate the callers. We missed a bunch, and I'm sorry. Got to figure this out a little bit. But I just want to say, is it personal? Is what I'm doing personal? Thought I was going to say no, didn't you? Absolutely, it's personal. You're damn right it's personal. Because it's people like this guy, Dago. He'll say, to watch tomorrow, his whole show will be about, I don't hate the police. Never said I hated the police. Oh, be prepared, buddy. I've got plenty of scenarios where you said your disdain for the police. I'll impeach you, buddy. Look that word up. I'll impeach your testimony on here. So is it personal for me? Yeah, because I wore a badge for a long time. I rubbed elbows with some great people. I've been shot at 9 times. All in one night. Not 9 separate times. Blew the back windshield out of my car. Blew the rearview mirror off. I could hear the rounds whizzing past my head and bouncing off the undercarriage of the car as they skipped across the pavement as I drove away. And to have this guy talk about how disgusted basically he was with the amount of pay that patrol officers make, and then actually say that the entire town of Moscow is a bunch of inbreds, he'll be retracting that statement. I promise you tomorrow he'll be retracted, and he'll do this tear-felt, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not me. That's not what I represent. I was just caught up in the moment. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean people in Moscow. I'm calling it. Calling it right now. I promise you. Now, because I said this, he may not do it because I can say I called it. That would make me right. Do I think Dago's a bad person? No. I don't think he's a bad. Do I think Jules is a bad person? No. Do I think they're jaded and tainted and full of hate? Yep, I do. I really do. Why did I say that?
Because I can.
Because that's what I think. What matters is what all of you think. So for the other creators that may be upset that I called some, I don't know, some people out that I feel like are counterproductive to an investigation, people that are hurting these poor families with lies, absolute disgusting conspiracy theories. I heard one on one of these shows we were listening to. I didn't go far enough. Actually talks about some websites. Did you see the websites that Kaylee was on? Implying that she's some kind of a prostitute. Really? I'm going to leave you with this. Close your eyes for a minute, parents. Imagine this happening to one of your children. If you can go to that dark place and having to hear some tyrant like these tyrants on here spewing absolute lies about your child or your brother or your sister, and you being helpless. You can't do a darn thing about it. Just think about that. We got much more. We're going to bring you a lot better stuff. This was an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like I said, I just picked one tonight. Thought it'd be neat to do that. That's not the one I wanted. Because I kind of just went like this, and I had a list of which ones. I tried to actually point to the one I wanted, but I missed. But I'm honest. So that's you know, that's where the ball bounced. All right, y'all. Think about it. If I offended anyone because I called him some names like no neck or something like that, it was to drive a point. Do I really think he has no neck? I know. Of course he's got a neck. His head sits on it. But you know what? I can say it. How's that feel, Dago? How's it feel when some of these subscribers started cracking on you not having any front teeth? How'd that feel, buddy? Did that hurt your feelings? They can say it. Why? Because I can. And you had the audacity to say, imagine how these parents feel. I feel sorry for them. Really? I'm going to peach you on that, buddy. I've got tons of stuff you've said that is absolutely disgusting. That subscribers, I've got over 700 emails right now from people. And a lot of it is from people sending stuff that you've said, Lana said, Jules has said, some others that I don't even know about. I don't even know who they are. Harsh, you're a good one, buddy. And I've sent out countless. Every time I went on his chat, I sent him an invite. Come on over, buddy. Come on over to my show, or I'll come to your show and we can talk about your concerns. You know, because he just gets to stand there and say what he wants to say. And he's got nobody Nobody talking back to him. Nobody's disagreeing with him because they're all on the same field. They're all on the offense. There's nobody on the defense on that side. So all you haters out there, I'm cool with it because this ain't my job. I don't rely on this for income. I work my ass off every day. But you know what? These little weasels, this is their job. There are actually people out there that love to just hear their name said, and they'll give $25. Watch the show if you don't believe me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad. Is your dog doing okay? Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. $25. Patronizing people. Blowing smoke. You don't give a damn about these people. They're the money train. Anyway, I'm going to cut y'all loose.
Hold on, John. Can I say one thing real quick?
Absolutely, Kelly D. I'm sorry you didn't get much to say tonight, but
it's okay.
Hey, this lady right here is my superstar.
No.
She really is. And I want to thank her. And I want to thank, I want to say something about Jeff's not in here tonight. Jeff had band practice, but Jeff's not me.
Yeah.
We're not polar opposites. We're great friends. Just not me.
Yeah. I just wanted to apologize to you, John, for losing my cool there, because it's about the families and the victims and the town that is just full of grief, and people just keep picking them apart, and it's disgusting. What they're saying is disgusting. We didn't call them disgusting. We said what they're saying is disgusting. So for people to twist things up, people that we didn't get a problem with titanium built. I was telling people, go check her out. She's great. And then she comes in here and tells me
what does Tanya have a problem with?
She tells me to stay out of her chat. Tell Kelly stay out of her chat.
Why? What's the problem, Tanya?
I haven't been in her chat. I
don't understand what the problem is. Just because I'm a little outspoken and you're not, I respect that you're not.
She also told me to produce the receipts I talked about in T-Rev's live. So she's sticking up for T-Rev. What the
Seriously?
hell is that? Yeah. Seriously.
Do you want to know what T-Rev said about you? I won't say it on here, but
no, don't need to.
Not good.
I like Tanya.
I like Tanya. I like Tanya.
Not anymore. She just showed her true colors.
Well, we'll have to have a conversation. But you can go. Hey, I want to say goodnight to my son. Tell him thank you. What do you need, buddy? But
anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. Somebody said Brooklyn said Tanya wasn't sticking up for T-Rev at all, and I'm not sure that Tanya would stick up for T-Rev.
You need me to copy and paste her what she said?
No, we're not. Hey, we're not gonna. I'll talk to you, Tanya. We're starting to get a little emotional on all sides here. But you know what? Bottom line is, I'm not going to stop. If you don't like it, I mean, you can unsubscribe. I'm still subscribed to your show.
Nope.
We have a difference of opinion on how to handle things. I don't think it's okay to allow this to continue without some kind of, consequence. And if I have to be some kind of a consequence, then so be it. I'll fall on the sword.
I love you all. I love you all in chat. My
Thank you, Kelly
keyboard, I
D.
couldn't talk to you guys and it was driving me nuts. You guys are wonderful.
Is it a wireless
You're real.
keyboard? Is it wireless? Is your keyboard wireless?
No, it
Anyway,
sounds like
we
the
need to go.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm glad you got to see me. It was fun. And I'll see you next time. And I mean peace.